Well, hey guys, you join me working on friends of Paul's Vauxhall Viva. And since Paul's had this car set up on the rolling road, as he's got a weather carburettor on it, it now produces the quoted 57 brake horsepower, which Vauxhall said that it would from the factory. However, the car is actually making a bit of a tappy noise from the tappets. So Paul's asked me if I can come over and set up his tappets for him so the engine will now run sweet. So anyway, let's get the bonnet open and let's get the tappets done. Okay, so a few basic tools, just a screwdriver, plug spanner and a feeler gauge. We've just got some tape here. We're going to mark up number 1 HT lead. We're going to take off all of the HT leads here and put them all over to one side, because with Paul's engine the HT leads run over the rocker cover. So if we just get those out of the way, it's one less thing to deal with. And if we take out all of the plugs, we're then not fighting the compression of the engine as we're turning over and adjusting the tappets. So there we are, that's all 4 plugs out. Seems to be running quite nicely. You've got a nice sort of brown colour spark plug. And just checking out all 4 of those, it seems to be running quite evenly and quite nicely. But as I say, she's making a bit of a tappy noise. We'll just take off the fuel pipe down here, the fuel hose to the carburettor. Just so if there's any fuel spill, it won't go over the engine if it's taken off from the bottom there, which of course there will be a little bit coming out. I'll just put my finger over the end and just put it the other side there so it's out of the way. I don't need to take this pipe off because you see it's just a breather hose, just goes down there. The king leads out the way. Now there's only 4 screws on a Viva to hold the rocker cover in place. Paul's just given the spark plugs a nice little clean up there. Make those nice and good for when they go back in. It's always a good idea to do anyway. We'll just put these little screws at the top there out the way. So it's a lovely little car to work on, this, a Vauxhall Viva, and I say they're a great first time classic car sort of car. You know, if you're new to classic cars, they're very easy to work on, very robust, and you get hold of most of the parts for them through, who's it, the Vauxhall Viva's Owners Club, Paul? Yep. Yeah. So how much are they per year to join?
£25.
£25, I mean you can't get much better than that. So I'm not sure if Paul's well sealed this gasket down. No, he hasn't, so it's come up quite nicely. Gaskets remained on part of the engine, and you're going to give this a respray now, are you?
Yeah.
No worries. Okay, I'll let Paul give that a respray and we'll have a look at the tappets.
Well, I've just given this a coat of very high temperature VHT black paint. It looks lovely. We're ready to go on the car.
Okay, Vauxhall Viva engine. Nice and easy to adjust the valves on these. We're going to be adjusting it to 0.08 of an inch or 0.23 of a millimetre. They're dead easy to adjust. It's just a little nut down here which you undo or do up to set the adjustment on. We're going to be adjusting this engine using the rule of 9, which is dead easy to use and explained in another one of my videos. I'm going to leave a link up there to that video of rule of 9. But put simply, it is where you say, for example, I was adjusting number 1, I'd have number 8 fully compressed down, because 8 and 1 equal 9, and so on, but we're going to run you through that anyway. So Paul, if you want to help me out, if you can just put your finger there on number 8 and tell me when it's fully down.
Oh, up again.
Just gone up again. Is that about right there?
Do it one more.
Just a little bit
tiny.
more. Same way?
Yeah. It's going up again now. That's it there.
That's it about there. Right, so you know, what Paul was complaining about was it sounded quite tappy, and to be honest with you, I'm not surprised how loose those tappets are. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. So we've just got that adjusted, so we've got a nice sort of drag there on the feeler gauge. Just normally just do them, just to pinch it and then back them off a little bit, and it's just a question of feel there, so probably a little bit too much, and then just back it off a tiny bit. Nice drag on the feeler gauge there. Now the next one Paul's going to move on to is number 7. So he's going to be sticking his finger there, and then as I'm turning over the engine, it'll fully compress that valve, and I'll be working on number 2, because obviously 2 and 7 equal 9.
Oh,
going down
slowly,
nice and slow.
More. Stop.
Okay. Now obviously this is a damn sight easier doing this job, as we have done it with the spark plugs removed, because there's no compression on the engine, so we can turn it over nice and easy, and it just makes adjustment that little bit quicker. Again there, just a nice little bit of drag on the feeler gauge, and Paul's going to move on to the next one there, which is 6, and I'll be working on 3.
Walk slowly. Sit.
There's 3 and 6 equal 9. Again, that's quite wide. Quite surprised, Paul, how wide all these are.
Yeah, well, it's been like that since I bought it.
Yeah.
But it was alright till the rolling road tuner.
Well, the thing is, when you
Thrashed
putting the engine under high stress, that's where sometimes the problems can occur. And obviously, since owning this car, you've changed it from its ordinary, what did it have? It was a
Stromberg 150.
Stromberg 150 carburettor to now a Weber downdraft.
Yeah, twin choke carb.
So next one there, Paul. You might have to come around here a bit there, mate.
See it, see it.
Yep.
Sit.
That's it. So I'm working on number 4, Paul's on number 5. So 4 and 5 equal 9. There we are. It's probably just a little bit overcooked, and just back it off a tiny bit. And maybe tighten it there. Perfect amount of drag on that. And Paul, if you want to bring your hand around this side, because I'm going to have to adjust that one there, mate.
Yeah, let me see it go down.
Yep. Probably just up and over the carburettor. If you just come up there. If you want to use your other hand, it might be easier.
I can do it now.
That's it. So if we just turn her over. Looks like we're just about.
There.
Yep.
There.
Yep. I think that needs a little bit going back. I think that's about right there.
Yeah.
And again, I'm working on 5, Paul's on 4, 4 and 5 equal 9. And just check the drag on that. So that's about right there. And now, Paul's come down to number 3. Turn over that engine till number 3 goes fully down. Starting to get there.
Yep, must be.
Yep. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm working on 6. Pulls on number 3. 3 and 6 equal 9. I'll tell you what, this is probably one of the easiest cars to adjust valves on, and for a first time starter classic, I mean, you'd recommend one, wouldn't you? Vauxhall Viva.
Everything's easy on this.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much easier.
No. It's not like Triumphs and MGs where you have to put a screwdriver in the tappet and turn it and then tighten the nut to it. They're just so easy to work on. So next one there, Paul, number 2. So Paul's on 2 there, making sure that goes fully down, and I'll be working on number 7. It's 2 and 7 equal 9. So that's not far off there. Is that about there?
Yep.
Yep. So coming up to number 7 here. Again, every single one of these has been quite loose. I'll just slightly overcook that one. Back off a tiny bit. And that seems to be just about right there. And last one now there, Paul, if you want to put your finger on number 1. I'll turn over the engine. And where are we? That's come up, yep, back a bit.
Yep.
So I'll be working on number 8 because 1 and 8 equal 9. And that was quite slack at the back, so that must have been chattering quite a bit. There we are, just a slight little nip up. Perfect. And there we are, that's a Vauxhall Viva valves adjusted using the rule of 9. So the next stage is just get rid of this old gasket. We'll clean up this surface and get ready for Paul's nice new painted rocker cover to be fitted. Well, we're on the mucky stage, so new gasket to Paul's nicely repainted rocker cover. We're going to be using a bit of well seal, just liberally put around the edge of the rocker cover here. Well seal's are lovely stuff because it doesn't fully go off, so it sticks to rocker covers quite nicely. And I only ever put it on one side, so just around the top of the rocker cover, and that will do. And there we are. And I say it sticks like something to a blanket, should we say. There we are. Nicely in place. Okay, so just scrubbing down the top of the engine block with an old blade. Paul's just giving it a go there. How you getting on there, mate?
Coming off.
Good stuff. Right, so we've got the screws in, all ready to go in place. Just carefully manoeuvre.
Try and get that rear one by the carb in first.
Okay.
There's a little bit of metal that sticks up there.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, so you've just got to get back a bit.
Yeah.
The coil bracket.
Coil bracket, yeah. There we are, I think that's
That there.
that looks like it's getting close to it.
Yeah, so just try and get a few turns on each. Can't do them up very much at all, otherwise it won't go.
Yeah.
That's it. It's fiddlier than it looks for 4 little bolts.
Yeah. That's just the way a Viva is. Viva HC Viva. When they introduce these there, because you're the aficionado of these, I'd say.
October 1970 to 79.
70 to 79. And they changed them during production, didn't they? Different stylings.
Yeah, they get more modern ones with different instrument panels and seats.
Yeah.
About halfway through.
Didn't they change the front end as well on them?
Well, you could get like 4 headlights, and the models got mixed up quite weirdly.
Because they made a 2.3 litre as well, didn't they?
Yeah, 1800, well,
Yeah.
1600, 1256.
Yeah.
First ones were 1159 from the HP Viva. Although it's the same engine.
Yeah.
So it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, because they confused them up with the Frenza a little bit, didn't they?
Exactly, yeah. The Frenza is supposed to be the coupe one.
Yeah.
And they reserved that name for the Droopsnip Frenza. They're
Which
called the
you've also
Frenzas
got.
Magnum Coupes, and they all just got stupid.
Yeah. Which you've also got a Frenza in the garage. Which
Yeah.
Many of you on YouTube has probably seen Paul's Frenza in a previous video of mine. So there we are. That's just jolted in and it's gone down quite nicely. Just check there. I suppose later on you could just touch up these screws with a little bit of paint
Yeah, I will do.
and just make it look nice. The trick is with rocker covers is never to do them up too tight but not too loose. They've just got to be just pinching the rocker cover gasket just enough type thing. You see, I'm not
Just
wielding a
squash
lot, you're just compressing it down.
it into nothing.
That's right, because that cork gasket is effectively what you're sealing. As soon as it soaks in a bit of oil,
It's flexible, isn't it?
that's right, it will seal itself. There's your screwdriver there. I'll just put your cap back on so nothing can damage that. Around there. Right, now as from earlier, we marked number 1 spark plug lead. Of course, we've got to put sparks back in. It might be a good idea to start off with that. So Paul's cleaned up these spark plugs. Just get these nicely in place. So as earlier, just to make life easier, mark number 1 spark plug lead. And we just work out everything from there. So that's number 1 in place. 1 anti-clockwise, 3. This one here, number 3. Four. And 2. And fuel pipe, which we carefully took off earlier. We can now feed that back down. So we just pull that out of the way, the dipstick, if you want to hold on to that there, Paul. I think we'll feed that under that way. There, you got my screwdriver there, Paul? Yep. Cheers. Just tighten that down. And then you got the breather hose.
Yep.
I'm not forgetting obviously the king lead, otherwise it won't start. We'll put that in place. The breather hose there, we just add going off towards the back of the car. Get that down there, that HT lead. And that's it, job's a good one. So, just put the dipstick back in place. And I think it's just a case of shutting the bonnet and going out for a road test.
Yeah, lovely evening for a test drive in this sunshine.
Well, there you are, that's the Tappets done on Paul's Vauxhall Viva. So what do you think?
All seems quiet now, can't hear anything apart from a tiny exhaust leak.
Yeah, well, that's nothing, that's neither here nor there, so much better overall car.
Yeah, much better now.
That's right. So these old cars, you've got to keep on top of them with stuff like the Tappets and adjusting points and stuff like that. Mind you, yours hasn't got any points because you've gone over to electronic ignition, haven't you?
Yeah, nice little cheap active spark, but it works well. It's been on there nearly 3 years.
Yeah, it does the job.
Keep the spare one in the boot, 35 quid.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.